my name is Lon Moore. I've been a member of Bridgehaven for 20 years on and off. Yes, my diagnosis is schizoaffective disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and also I think I might have also bipolar. Well, I used to live in Lexington years ago, and I was living in a rooming house, and I wasn't doing very well mentally and emotionally, and I had a lot of paranoia going on. I ended up getting in trouble because I shot one of my neighbors. The thing that led up to the shootings, I was having my symptoms on and off of being paranoid, depression, and also the way my mind worked at the time. My mind, it's like I was used to violence because that's the way I grew up, in violence and being abused and stuff. I've been abused in every which way you could possibly be abused. And I had a lot of anger with me. And I only knew one way to solve issues or an argument, was violence. And that's what led up to that, was violence. But the week before I shot the guy, I was in one of the local hospitals here, and the doctor, he gave me a poor prognosis before I left the hospital. And I think it was something to do with insurance. I had to leave because it was a private hospital, it wasn't state. So I was out there on my own, struggling with the mental illness and emotional stuff without being on the right meds or the right diagnosis. And there was this fellow that lived there. He didn't like me for some reason. At least that's the way I felt, because he did act sort of hostile toward me. When you live in a rooming house, you have all different kind of personalities, and I didn't know how to deal with personalities, and I was cooking breakfast for me and a friend, and he opened his door, and, because I talk deep, and he told me to shut up, but he didn't say it that way. He used a foul word. But anyway, he told me to shut up and slammed his door, and that was the last straw, because he had been harassing me, and that wasn't good on top of my mental illness. So I did go to the landlord and try to get the landlord to do something about it, what was going on at the house. It was his house, he owned it. But he didn't want to deal with it. So at the time, I had a firearm that I should not have had, a .22 Ruger pistol, and I had that. And what happened was I knocked on his door, and I said, "Do you have a problem?" I was like out of it, I said, "Do you have a problem with me?" And he said, "Yeah." And I had that gun behind my back, and I was so angry. Just, I hate losing that control, losing control of yourself. It's scary. But anyway, he slammed the door, and I shot through the door, and it hit him, and it went in his chest, missed his heart, and it fragmented, But he went out. He had the side door to his room, so he went out the side door, and I didn't know where he had went, but later I found out through the homicide detectives that he had walked to the hospital. Fortunately, they lived, and that turned out okay. But I was sentenced to prison for 6 years. I said, "Lord, if I'm just getting tired of living like this," and I wanted to die. When I first went into jail, when they were going to sentence me to prison, I didn't see no hope. I had no hope for living, because I was tired of it. And I did prison. I did prison for 3 years. I only stayed in prison 3 years because of my good time. And they also diagnosed me with the right diagnosis, because before I went into prison, I had the wrong diagnosis. And that was part of the problem. They put me on what's called Ep.2, and that really helped, So I was released out of prison in 2000. I got out, and I lived at a rooming house. I stayed there, and I was bored. I didn't have anything to do. I didn't have a life. Plus, I wasn't on any medicines when they released me from the hospital. From the prison, excuse me. And I ended up getting sick, and I ended up in the hospital, one of the local hospitals here in Louisville, private hospitals. I ended up there, and I was there for about 2 weeks, and the intake coordinator from Bridgehaven, she came and she was visiting different patients there at the hospital to see who would like to join Bridgehaven. And I had never heard of Bridgehaven, but I told her I was interested and I would like to go to Bridgehaven. So I started going in 2001, and my life changed. I started getting a lot of friends, and that really helped. Have a lot of friends and activities to do, the different groups here to help me to deal with my depression and the anxiety and the different things that come out of that. One thing I really like is Bridgehaven is a hub for me. It was a hub of opportunity. And I was going through a program called Opportunity House over there. So it was an opportunity, and I met friends, like I said earlier. But because of friends, it was like a tree branching out. So here I am today, and my symptoms aren't like they were then. When I first got out of the prison, I was had a lot of anger issues and paranoia. But now I'm open, I'm more outgoing, and I just can do more. And also, Bridgehaven built up my confidence, because when I first came here back in 2021, I would have never thought about going to college. But it built up my courage because of working with the computers, So I was able to go to Jefferson Community Technical College and got a diploma in heating and air conditioning technology. And I was even on the dean's list one time because of my grade point average being good. And then I remember my graduation day, the EPO, executive officer, corporate officer from Bridgehaven, she came to my graduation, and we took a picture together. I remember that. Yeah, so Bridgehaven has really done a lot for me. It really has helped me.
Donate today by clicking the link below, or learn more at bridgehaven.org.